Greetings everyone, welcome to the August news and fair dates for the upcoming month and beyond. So the flyers and the posters for the fairs will appear on this side here. Pause if you want any details. This will be the locations and times and access and fees. We're going to go through. There's quite a lot of dates to cover for August and the upcoming months towards the end of the year. So pause if you want the details. We'll get straight into it because the first one's very soon. This is the 2nd of August. This is the only American one on the list. So if you are from America and you have dates coming up, please do let me know. This is the 2nd of August. This is the Orange County Postcard and Paper Show at Buena Park in California. Now, let's be very quick for this one. This is only a few days away. But I've only just recently received this flyer, so this is the first time that we've actually mentioned this one. On the 6th and the 7th of August is the North of England Summer Postcard Fair. This is the first PTA fair to be held in the north of the UK. It's up in Yorkshire. This is the northern equivalent of Woking, if you want to place it in any sort of description. I unfortunately won't be able to make this one, but it should be a particularly good fair. The Bone Cancer Research Trust charity stall will be there at this one. Steve has advised me that they'll be there on the stall. Here's their flyer, which I have shown on previous ones. Steve and Tom raised money for bone cancer research. They are to be congratulated because they've raised £3,282.50 since September of last year, mainly through the sale of postcards and Steve's Walk 62 Miles challenge. So a superb result, and all the help they can get would be much appreciated. Offers of cards that you want to get rid of, if you have them, all the details are here. It'll always go to a good cause. 16th of August, the North Wales Postcard Fair at Llandudno, all the details here. On the 23rd of August, Paper Trail Events will be holding their Weedon Stamp and Postcard Fair in Northamptonshire. And then on the 30th of August, you've got the Bury St Edmunds Postcard Fair. This is a Saturday. I will be going to this one. So if you attend Bury St Edmunds, then come and say hello. I shall be wandering around trying to buy some new cards for my collection. If you're not going to the Bury St Edmunds and you're a little bit further south, then maybe you could go to the Shoreham Postcard Fair, which is also on the 30th of August. I do love the Shoreham Postcard Fair, and I haven't been for a little while, so I'm going to have to remedy that. But the Bury St Edmunds is a once a year fair, so I want to particularly go to that one on the day. This is the flyer for the AMP fairs. Now the AMP fairs, all their different ones are all on the same flyer, so we'll go through these together. I'm going to quickly mention the August dates, but also I'm going to mention the remaining dates at each location for the rest of this year. So I'll go through this quickly, but it's all there on the flyer. On the 6th of August, you've got the fair at Cirencester, and the future dates are the 3rd of September, 1st of October, 5th of November, and the 3rd of December. On the 6th of September, there's Powick, and the future dates is the 6th of December. On the 7th of September, you've got Newcastle under Lyme. Only one future date here, and that's the 2nd of November. On the 13th of September, there's the Northampton Fair, and the future date here, only one again, is the 15th of November. A few more August ones here. These are slightly out of date time, but it's how I run it through on my listing. 27th of August, Birmingham. The future dates here are the 24th of September, the 29th of October, and the 29th of November. On the 12th of August, slightly earlier, there's the Nottingham Fair. This is not the Reflections of a Bygone Age Fair. This is the A&P Fairs Nottingham one. And the future dates for this one are the 14th of October and the 16th of December. Then on the 23rd of August, you've got Stockport. And this one is the last fair at Stockport. So if you don't go on the 23rd of August, you'll have to wait until next year. And then at Gloucester, on the 29th of December, this is also the last of the Gloucester fairs for 2025 as well. So 29th of December, put that one in your diaries. Another company that do multiple fairs, and they're all listed on the one flyer, are the Bass Rock Postcard and Stamp Fairs. Here are the remaining 3 fairs for 2025. There is one in August on the 23rd, and that's at Berwick Parish Centre at Berwick upon Tweed. And then you've got the 6th of September, St Andrew Blackadder Church Hall. I always say this, I love the fact that there's a Blackadder Church Hall out there. That's at North Berwick. On the 8th of November, you've got the Kinross Church Centre in Kinross Fair. So 3 fairs, Bass Rock, all on this one flyer. Now, I haven't done this before, but I've been through Picture Postcard magazine, and my thanks go out to them because they list all of the postcard fairs, and besides this vlog, it's the other great source of fair dates and details. So there's no flyer for these, so I'm very quickly going to go through them and give you the postcodes and the location as per it's described in Picture Postcard Magic, which is produced by Reflections of a Bygone Age and well worth having a look at. I've done a quick screenshot of the listing, which I will also put up here. So you've got the 6th of August at Beverley at Bishop Burton College. The postcode is HU178QG. And then on the 10th of August, there's a fair at Havant, and that's at the Pallant Centre, PO6 2AQ. 16th of August, Sittingbourne at the Carmel Hall, ME10 1JB. 24th of August, Wimborne, and that's at the Allendale Centre, BH21 1AS. On the 25th, there's 2. There's one at Felbridge, which is at the Village Hall, which is RH192NT. Also on the 25th, there's one at Eastleigh, and this is the Places Leisure Centre, SO509NL. There's a postcard fair on the 28th at Ripley, held at the Scout Hut. I don't have the postcode for that. And on the 30th, there's one at Kidlington at the Methodist Church, which is OX52BP. Now, if you get your diaries out, here are some future dates for your diaries. I'll go through this a little bit faster. Some of the ones will come up in the future ones where we'll spend more time and go through the bits and pieces. Again, pause if you want the details. 6th of September is the Nottingham Postcard and Collectors Fair. This is the Reflections of a Bygone Age Fair, for those who know the difference. I will be at this one. I might not be at this one. I might be at the one later in the year. I love the Nottingham Fair. I think it's the one that's later in the year that I'm attending. But the 6th of September, Nottingham Postcard Fair. 13th of September, the Bristol Fair. Also on the same date, there's a fair, the Margate Collectors Fair. I've not been to the Margate one. I might have to attend that one and have a look. Between the 19th and the 20th September is the Autumn South of England Postcard Fair, otherwise known as the Woking Fair. That's what I've always called it. Unfortunately, I have to miss this one. Well, I say unfortunately, I'm in Florida, so perhaps not that unfortunate. But I thoroughly recommend the Woking Fair, so that one's worth going to. On the 4th of October, you've got the Long Melford Book Fair, which we have attended in the past and vlogged from. On the 11th of October, there's the Canterbury Postcard Fair. The last fair at Canterbury will be on the 13th of December, so there's 2 more to go. 11th of October, 13th of December. Also on the 11th of October is the West London Postcard Fair. On the next day, if you fancy a bit of travel, on the 12th of October, you've got the Wirral Postcard and Local History Fair. Again, I always say, I love a fair that covers both local history and postcards. I think there's a strong connection between the two. On the 18th of October, you've got the Exeter Postcard Fair. And then between the 22nd and the 25th of October, you've got the Stampex International Fair at the Business and Design Centre in London, Islington, which I will be going to. I've been to most of the Stampex fairs over the last 20-30 years. Although it's a stamp fair, I always manage to find lots of postcards there. Always worth adding to your diary listing. On the 22nd of November, you've got the Durham Postcard, Cigarette Card and Stamp Fair. Just about everything covered in that one, so that will be one for all types of collectors. And then on the 23rd of November, the Surrey Postcard Club Postcard Fair in Leatherhead. Again, details on the flyer here. And then first for next year, which we have previously mentioned, and in the last news blog we showed some material that advertises it. And this is from the 23rd to the 30th of May 2026, Boston 2026 World Expo at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Centre. There's a free postcard being given out to publicise this, which has a QR code on the reverse side. That's been depicted here at the side here, I hope. They only hold their internationals every 10 years in America, much like they do here, although we have an international in London every 10 years, and then we have the last couple of decades on the 05, the 2015, 2025, we had a Europhilics as well, so we're having one every 5 years at the moment. That's all of the dates, and that's quite a few there, so put those all through on your diaries. It's free to have your postcard fair promoted here on this vlog. We don't charge. This is a service I do for trying to promote postcard fairs, to try and promote the postcard hobby. So if you have a fair, please let me have details. And the best way to do that is to post in the comments below the poster or flyer details that you have. Later in the year I shall be especially looking out for flyers for next year's dates. So if you have a postcard fairs listing coming up for next year at some point later in this year, please send me the details. Right, whilst you are still with me and hopefully enjoying this vlog, it would be great if you could just take a second to like and share, because this helps me get that information out there. But most importantly of all, if you could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Now, I am aware that some people are very wary of the word subscribe, but it's a free. It doesn't cost you any money and doesn't tie you into any commitments. It's just a simple click of the subscribe button, and that helps me beat that YouTube algorithm that decides whether or not to promote the YouTube vlogs. So we want this to reach as many people as possible to promote our hobby of postcard collecting, so subscribing would be really helpful. And also for those who are interested, there has been some questions around this. I received no payment for doing these vlogs. I don't take any payment for the advertising of the stuff that we do, all these fairs, and also received no money from YouTube. I'm never going to reach, I don't think, the number of subscribers that you require to get into any type of payment from YouTube. So this is a free service, and I do this to promote a hobby that I love. So hitting that subscribe button just helps me get more people involved in our hobby. So if you could subscribe, it would be most appreciated. A little piece of news. 2025 is the 20th anniversary of the hobby of postcrossing. Now, this is the hobby where people sign up and randomly receive an address to send a postcard to, for which they will then receive a postcard from a randomly selected person from anywhere across the world. It's a postcard exchange system, and it has been immensely popular, and thousands of people around the world post postcards out to random people that they received the address from because they've measured it up. The very first post-crossing card, which is referenced as PT1, was a log-shaped card depicting 3 lighthouses. That postcard is no longer published by the publisher that originally did that 20 years ago. But the Postcrossing organisation have republished the card as a 20th anniversary special to promote and celebrate the 20th anniversary. I saw this Facebook posting, which I reposted on my own Facebook page, and it was for a bundle of these cards. There were 20 bundles, 20 postcards, and 20 Cinderella type labels. So I applied and bought a pack myself. This is the actual pack that you received. These are the labels. Again, I'll show pictures on the side here, but it's basically a P20 post-crossing label. It's not a stamp, but it looks like a stamp. It's Cinderella labels that you could apply to your postcards to send them off. Maybe even your copies of the original card. This one has post-crossing 20 across the back, and you can just see PT1 here in greyed out. And the interesting thing is, soon after I paid and bought these, in fact within a day, I received this on my Facebook channel from Postcrossing saying that they'd been unexpectedly surprised at the amount of these that went out, and they'd sold out, but they were producing or preparing more. So hopefully they're back on sale on the Postcrossing site on the internet. So if you go into the Postcrossing shop, official shop, you can buy these packs. It's 20 of the same card, but I rather like the whole idea of this, and I collect post-crossing cards anyway, especially post-crossing meetup cards. So these are nice and something different, and congratulations to a hobby and an organisation that promotes postcard sending and postcards distribution around the world. Thousands go out every day. So a nice little pack, something different. Check it out. Next up we have our monthly PHQ catch up. Now the PHQ stamp cards are produced by Royal Mail, and they're for all of the special stamps that they do throughout the year, and they do a card for each of the stamps. On the 3rd of July this year, they did a set on mushrooms. 10 cards, 10 stamps, and they are referenced PHQ 548, and that's the set. Each set of cards for each set of stamps has a PHQ reference number. PHQ stands for Postal Headquarters. The very first of these post office stamp reproduction cards was PHQ1 because it came from the postal headquarters, and that numbering system has run through, and they are referred to as PHQ cards by collectors, although Royal Mail now refer to them more as stamp cards, but we call them PHQ stamp cards. This mushroom set is not particularly tied to any anniversary or anything like that, but it's just a random wildlife gardening type set. Although this is the first set to be totally devoted to the subject of mushrooms. Not really one of my collecting themes, but what I will say is that the photographs used on these are outstanding, absolutely stunning. Some of these are really, really beautiful. They're being shown at the side here in blocks of 2, but some of these cards are absolutely beautiful, and it shows you how beautiful some of our mushroom and fungi are. A very nice set, and as I say, the photographs are stunning. 10 cards in all shown down here. A full set of these is £4.50. £4.50 for 10 cards. These are very reasonable postcards and well worth sorting out. There were 2 in July. On the 24th of July, PHQ set 549 came out. And this set was titled Peanuts. And it actually celebrates the 75th anniversary of the classic comic strip's first appearance. And here you have Charles Schulz's famous characters, Charlie Brown and all his school friends, and obviously the iconic Snoopy. Yeah, Snoopy on top of his kennel, probably the most popular cartoon image going. And then you have, on the last card, you have the entire group of children with Snoopy. What I found interesting about these, I don't think everyone can name all of the characters in there, and that's probably no great surprise. Most people know Charlie Brown, but I would think almost everyone knows Snoopy or would recognise Snoopy. He's that much of an iconic character. I went through these, and Snoopy appears on 6 of the cards, whilst Charlie Brown only appears on 5, which I think says a lot about the popularity of Snoopy. As a collector of TV and cartoon cards, I was delighted with this set, although I will say the designs are quite simple, but I don't think there's any harm in that. I think they're very, very nice. We'll do more PHQ cards next time, because pretty much the set comes out every month, at least one. I say 2 for July because it's in the summer, so they expect you to write more. Just to round things up, I always mention Rob Roy albums. Their advert is here. All of my cards are in plastic sleeves because that's how I like to protect them. And I've always found Rob Roy cards to be the best source for plastic sleeves, but also for albums and album sleeves. So if you require any philatelic or postcard related storage equipment, Rob Roy's are the people to go to. That's the end of this particular news. Obviously, we try and get these out as close to the end of the previous month as possible, or on the first day of the month that they cover. So if you have any information, contact us before that with any fair dates, any stuff that you want us to be able to pass on to the people that watch. Fair dates is the speciality of this particular vlog, so as I said, I'm really after information for next year when flyers become available. So if you have one, you don't have to be the person organising, you could be a collector who's received one, and you can let me know. Publicity and promotion is where we need to improve and get our information out there to non-postcard collectors and other collectors, because postcards cover all the subjects and themes that you could possibly imagine. And we need to get people to understand that postcards is just not a case of buying your tourist postcard from the seafront or from London. There are postcards for everything: Batman, Pokemon, cars, motorcycles, every form of transport. And as that is something that other people collect, postcards is something that they can add to their collection. I really get these people to understand this and to come along to the fairs. And the best way of promoting them is to get that information out there. So this is what this vlog is all about. I hope you've enjoyed it. That's the end of this one. And as always, I'll see you at the next one.